Nothing like beating the University of Arizona. Welcome to House Hardcourt. I'm Jordan Palacio, joined by Scotty Gange. Scotty, what a game that was at the bank last week.
A game indeed. My ears are still ringing, Jordan. They're still ringing. The energy was electric.
Yes.
The athletes were electric, and we're going to see it all play out right here. Arizona State, Arizona, beautiful sound in the Valley of the Sun. This is the bank. It's a scramble early on. Everybody's ball game. Z comes up with it to Remy Martin. Throws it down. The crowd is pumped up. Remy Martin. We did not know he could do that, but we did know he could do this. The no-look pass, beauty. So clean, so nice. Getting Arizona State a larger lead early on, and he's excited. The fans are excited. But Arizona, they weren't going anywhere. This is Alex Barcelo from deep. Nails it. 57-57 ball game with just under 11 minutes remaining. But it was the Remy show. Throw it down right in front of your coach. And Bobby Hurley, you know what? That was pretty good. I will say, it was good. Later in this game, throwing it down is Zylan Cheatham off the Lou Dort lob. Cheatham in the air, catch and score. 9-4-2 crew, what you think? Even with the noise in the bank, this one was set into OT where Remy Martin decided, you know what? I'm going to win this ball game. A deep three there and gives it off to Lou Dort as Dort puts the exclamation mark on this ball game, slamming it home the two-handed flush as Bobby Hurley gets his first win over Arizona at Arizona State. 95-88 final score. So you saw it right there. Arizona State, huge win over Arizona. And it got us thinking, the two of us and really everybody here at the House Hardcourt, what are Bobby Hurley's best wins overall in his tenure at Arizona State? We're going to start with number 5.
Right.
Bringing it back to March 8th, 2017. ASU, their first Pac12 tournament win with Bobby Hurley. They beat a highly ranked Stanford squad, 98-88. I'm not going to say it put the Sun Devils on the map or anything, but it was the first perhaps large win for Bobby Hurley.
No, absolutely. And you talk about games that put Arizona State on the map. It's going to be this game coming in at number 4, a 102-85 win over then number 15 ranked Xavier for the Devils to win the Las Vegas tournament. And Scotty, this was really the nation's introduction to the three-headed monster last year: Trey Holder, Shannon Evans, and Cody Justice.
All three of those guys are gone, but wins against Arizona are now here. They couldn't get it done, but this year they do. The number 3 for us, Arizona, beating them at home in Tempe, a fantastic win for Bobby Hurley and company.
No, absolutely. And talk about fantastic wins. Really, this was the climax of last season for the team, coming in at number 2. The first win against Kansas on the road against number 2 Kansas. What a big win it was. What a game it was for that entire team, lifting the Sun Devils all the way up to number 3, Scotty.
All right, our number 1 is going to be, we all know it, it goes without saying, the win against Longwood earlier this year. Fantastic win. They were top ranked. I'm just kidding. Of course, it's Kansas, number 1 in the country at Tempe. The Storm, they stormed the court, excuse me. Fantastic win for Bobby Hurley and company. And those are all big wins, but a few more big games coming up this weekend.
Yes, that's right. And for more on that, we are going to bring in our guy, Quinn Jameson from the Terrace. Now, Quinn, we have a couple big games this week, like Scotty said. First up, it's against Washington State tonight. What do the Sun Devils have to do to stay off of upset alert?
Thank you, Jordan. And tonight is a huge game for the Sun Devils, and it's an absolutely beautiful night here in downtown Phoenix. Now, what the Sun Devils need to do to avoid the upset is simple. They need to move the ball around and take high percentage shots. The Washington State defense is absolutely awful. They rank 324th in the entire nation against the assist. So what Arizona State's going to need to do is ball movement. Now, the key in doing that is Remy Martin. He's the catalyst behind the Arizona State offense. And if you look at this play against Arizona, you can see that. Drives the ball down the left side here, takes it under the basket, drawing with him 2 defenders, hits Romello White for the easy slam. If Remy Martin can make plays like that against the Cougars, then it's going to be a long night for Washington State.
Now, that's a good point, Quinn. Now, let's flip the script a little bit and talk about this Washington Huskies team. They could potentially be coming into this game against the Sun Devils undefeated. So my question to you about them is twofold. First, do they have any weaknesses to this team at all?
Now, this Washington team is very impressive. I think they boast one of the better defenses in the entire country, and they've won 11 straight games. They do, however, have a glaring weakness that almost cost them against both Oregon and UCLA, and that is turnovers. The Huskies have been turning the ball over 17 times a game over the last 5 games, and it's really hard to come up with victories when you're turning the ball over that much. If you look here against UCLA, you can see Dominic Green and Jalen Newell having a miscommunication, turning into a slam on the other end of the court. Now, against Arizona State, we can't expect there to be mistakes like that one, but if the Huskies are turning the ball over, Arizona State is going to have a lot of opportunities in transition.
All right, last question here for you, Quinn. What means more to the Sun Devils, a loss to the Cougars or a big W against the Huskies?
Now, it's no doubt that a win against Washington would be massive for the Sun Devils. Washington is leading the Pac-12 right now, but they are not ranked. They do not have a lot of respect in terms of the AP poll or anything like that. Now, Washington State is 1-8 in Pac-12 play and would truly hurt Arizona State's chances at making the NCAA tournament or becoming ranked in the coming weeks if the Sun Devils were to fall to the Cougars. So for that reason, I'm saying a loss to Washington State would be more impactful than beating Washington, but without a doubt, it's a huge weekend for basketball in Tempe.
Our analyst Quinn Jamison with the latest. Thanks, Quinn.
Thanks, Jordan.
We spent so much time talking about the student athletes and coaches at Arizona State, but what about the fans? I caught up with Ed Sandage, a loyal Sun Devil since 1958, to dissect what a hashtag Sun Devil for life truly means.
That's right, she's been doing it all game.
Calling him a diehard fan would be an understatement.
Are you in a hurry to go home? Let him talk, Riff.
Ed Sandage, or better known around the community as Fast Eddie, is not a Sun Devil for life.
Get in there. Yes!
He's the Sun Devil for life.
Yes, and one. Woo-hoo!
A 1962 graduate of Arizona State,
Woo!
Fast Eddie is a fixture in the ASU community.
That was close.
But there's much more to Eddie than just screams.
My concept is that if somebody does something good for you, you ought to do something good for them.
With an insurance degree from ASU, Eddie has led a successful career at MassMutual Insurance since 1961, and he spent his entire adult life giving back to foundations in and around Arizona State.
Giving back, I think, is important, and the best club I've ever been in my life for the past 20 years is what's called the President's Club at Arizona State University.
A lifetime member of the President's Club, Sandage was awarded the ASU Alumni Service Man of the Year Award in 2017.
Picture pocket.
Ed's life has been full of Arizona State.
Go Devils!
And with that, it's been a life full of passion.
One of his famous statements is, if it's not fun, we don't do it. So you can't go wrong there.
Arizona State's the foundation of my success in my career, and so I think we ought to give something back.
Eddie's life is revolved around Arizona State and giving back to others. But most of all, it's revolved around fun.
They're making a movie out of me.
From Tempe,
They're going to call it Godzilla.
Scotty Gange, House of Sparky. I got to see Fast Eddie at the Arizona game, and he was just having an absolute ball. It was the best thing I saw all night was his big smile on his face. That's why we're bringing our guy Zach Keenan, because he saw a lot of great things. Zach, what was the best thing you saw on Saturday?
It was an awesome game, but the 942 crew was all over the place. I mean, check out this one right here. It's this sea of gold.
Wow.
I mean, I played a little ball in middle school. My skills aren't the same, but when I was a foot taller than everyone else, I cannot imagine trying to shoot when all these people are staring at you. I mean, this crowd is insane. Third largest in Wells Fargo Arena history.
It's amazing how many students came out for it. It was amazing.
Absolutely, and we see it even with this one right here, this line wrapping around itself outside of Wells Fargo Arena. I really think the hope is that with a Devils win, it shows all these students about how awesome and exciting the Fighting Bobby Hurleys are. Should really garner some excitement for tonight's game up against Wazoo and this weekend against UW.
Yeah, you talk about the UW game this weekend, and you can see all these students walking in. Do you think against a big team like Washington, they're undefeated in the Pac-12, do you expect this type of crowd from the students?
I think we would love to have this crowd from the students. To have anything close to it would be electric.
Absolutely electric. This guy is electric. The fans were electric. Zach, thanks so much for joining us on. We're going to send it over to our guy Eric Ruby to really break down what happened for the rest of the Pac-12 this past weekend.
Thanks, Scotty. This Pac-12 season has been interesting to say the least. You have the Washington Huskies, who hold an undefeated conference record and sit at 18-4 on the season. But the Huskies have a tough week on the road ahead of them as they head to Arizona. Currently tied for the second best team in the Pac-12 this year with ASU are USC and Oregon State. Both the Beavers and the Trojans are trying to make their case in the Pac-12 with nearly all their games coming down to the final minutes. Bringing up the mediocre section of the conference are teams like UCLA, Utah, Oregon, and Stanford. One winning streak or one losing streak can cement their position in the Pac-12 for the rest of the season. And rounding out the bottom of the Conference of Champions are Colorado, Washington State, and Cal. All three teams have struggled in Pac-12 play, especially the Golden Bears with an abysmal 0-9 conference record. Even though this has been a down year for the Pac-12, there are still plenty of storylines. Will UW make it through conference play undefeated? Will ASU ever return to the form that they were in when they beat then number 1 ranked Kansas? And how many Pac-12 teams will make the tournament? The only way to find out
we talked
is
about
to
him
wait and see.
before, but Arizona State really knocked it out of the park when they decided to replace Herb Sednek. The men's basketball program was treading in mediocrity. ASU needed to change the culture, and that's exactly what they did with Bobby Hurley. Since Hurley's been at the helm, the men's basketball team has arguably been the most popular team among students. Hurley has been a leader both on and off the court and been the lightning bolt this university needed. A great example of his emotion can be found in the U of A game last week, when he gets hit in the face with the ball, falls over, and immediately gets back up and is right back in the official's ear. That's the type of passion this program has thrived on and has led them to some milestone wins over the past couple seasons. And the best part is, this is only the beginning. That's why Bobby Hurley is our feel-good story of the week. Into Pac12 Top Plays we go, Scotty, and coming up first, Remy Martin against U of A. That shot's almost 100 feet away. What a shot in the clutch by Remy Martin. That three good enough for number 3 in our countdown this week, Scotty.
We've seen great guard play from Remy Martin all year long, and here's a great guard play right there. Justice Suing,
wow.
Bangers, get the and one. That's a three-point play, Jordan, right there. Fantastic. Not the best season for the Bears, but a great play.
A great play followed up by an even better play. Sam Timmons with a big man poster. Get out of his way.
Chuck it.
Washington stays undefeated in the pack, and that is our number 1 play of the week. A big man poster, Scotty, getting our number 1 Pac-12 top play of the week. Let me ask you, are you more of a three-point kind of guy or a dunk guy?
I can't shoot three-pointers. I can dunk. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I can dunk. So I'm a big dunk guy.
Dunk what? Chicken nuggets into the ketchup or what?
More canes.
More canes?
Yeah.
That's what it is. I'm more of a three-point kind of guy right there. I think I can kind of shoot the ball a little bit better. No vertical. We established that last week, Scotty. But, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is for Arizona State.
Yes.
Taking on Washington State tonight.
Yeah.
A dangerous game, and even more so dangerous game on Saturday. That's all going to play out this weekend. We'll catch you next week, same time, same place, for one more time. This guy's Jordan Palacio. I'm Scotty Gaines. For our executive producers, Blaine McCormick and Noah Lau, we thank you all for joining us here on the House Hardcourt.